Silence is often mistaken for weakness, but what if it's the greatest strength of all? In a world that glorifies speaking up, expressing every thought and voicing every opinion, we often forget the ancient wisdom that taught us the power of restraint. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor who ruled not just with power but with profound self-discipline, knew that there were moments when silence spoke louder than words. Imagine a battlefield, not of swords and shields, but of conversations and conflicts, where the sharpest weapon isn't a cutting remark, but the quiet control of silence. Picture this. The room is filled with voices, each one louder than the next, each opinion sharper, more desperate to be heard. But there's one person who sits back, observing, calculating, choosing not to engage in the noise. He's not disengaged, he's deliberate. His silence is not the absence of thought, but the mastery of it. Have you ever wondered why some of the most influential figures often say the least? What if the most strategic move you could make in a heated moment was to simply say nothing? We live in a time when silence feels unnatural, even uncomfortable. But Marcus Aurelius believed that knowing when to be silent was a skill that separated the wise from the impulsive. Throughout this journey, we'll uncover the 10 moments when silence is not just golden, it's transformative. You'll learn why sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to hold your tongue, stay still, and let your silence speak for you. 1. Be silent. When anger controls. Anger is a powerful and often blinding force. It clouds judgment, distorts perception, and drives us to say things we later regret. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor who faced endless pressures and provocations, understood that the true battle was not with external enemies, but with the impulses within. In moments of anger, silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a profound act of strength and self-control. When anger takes hold, it's easy to let words fly, to lash out in defense or frustration, but these moments are when silence is most needed. By choosing to be silent, you are not surrendering. Rather, you are reclaiming your power over your own emotions. Imagine a heated argument, the kind where every word feels like a weapon, and each exchange only escalates the tension. In the heat of the moment, it feels almost impossible not to respond, to defend your position, or to strike back with words intended to wound. Yet, Marcus Aurelius believed that in these very moments, silence becomes a shield, a way to protect not just yourself, but also the relationship at stake. Speaking in anger often turns a manageable conflict into a deeper rift, creating scars that words can't easily heal. The Stoic way is to recognize this destructive potential and to choose silence until the storm of emotions has passed. Silence in anger isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about giving yourself the space to understand them. When anger flares up, it's usually not just about the immediate situation, it's often a response fueled by past hurts, fears, or unmet expectations. By choosing to remain silent, you create a pause, a necessary gap between stimulus and response. This pause allows you to regain your composure, to reflect on the true source of your anger, and to decide how best to move forward. In this silence, you can ask yourself, is this reaction truly worth the words I'm about to say? What am I hoping to achieve, and will my words help or hinder that goal? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In moments of anger, silence is your best weapon, not because it hides your thoughts, but because it allows you to rise above the immediate impulse to retaliate. It's an opportunity to demonstrate your inner strength, to show that you are not ruled by your emotions but are in command of them. Silence in anger doesn't mean you are avoiding the issue, it means you are choosing to approach it with wisdom rather than wrath. It's a deliberate choice to wait until you can respond from a place of calm and clarity, rather than from the heat of the moment. Moreover, your silence in moments of anger often speaks louder than any words could. It shows restraint, maturity, and respect for yourself and for others. It signals that you value the relationship or the situation enough not to let temporary emotions dictate your actions. This kind of silence can diffuse tension, giving others the space to reflect on their own words and actions. It can transform a heated exchange into an opportunity for genuine understanding and reconciliation. In the end, choosing silence when anger controls you is not about denying your emotions. It's about mastering them. It's about recognizing that true strength lies not in what you say, but in what you choose not to say. By holding back in moments of rage, you protect your dignity, preserve your relationships, and uphold the Stoic principle that wisdom and self-control are the greatest forms of power. Be silent when you don't have all the facts. In a world driven by instant opinions, snap judgments, and knee-jerk reactions, remaining silent when you don't have all the facts is an act of wisdom and humility. Marcus Aurelius, known for his contemplative nature and his practice of examining situations deeply before responding, would remind us that speaking without understanding the full picture often leads to misunderstandings, misjudgments, and conflict. It's easy to feel the pressure to weigh in, to give our opinion, or to take a stand, especially when emotions run high or when everyone around us seems to have something to say. But there is profound power in holding back, in choosing silence over hastiness, and in waiting until the truth is fully revealed. Consider the many situations where people rush to conclusions. A rumor spreads, a story breaks, or a conflict emerges, and suddenly everyone is an expert, offering their analysis or condemnation. The urge to speak up, to be heard, and to assert our perspective can be overwhelming. However, Marcus Aurelius understood that the first impression is rarely the whole truth, and speaking without all the facts often adds noise rather than clarity. Silence in these moments is not an admission of ignorance. It's a recognition that true wisdom comes from understanding, not from the rush to respond. It's about valuing accuracy and truth over the fleeting satisfaction of being heard. Remaining silent when you don't have all the facts allows you to take a step back and observe. It gives you the opportunity to gather information, to listen to different perspectives, and to consider the broader context. In the stillness of silence, you can critically evaluate what is presented to you, discerning between fact, assumption, and opinion. This reflective pause not only prevents you from making hasty remarks that you might later regret, but it also positions you as someone who speaks with intention and substance. People who wait to speak until they understand the full picture are often seen as more thoughtful, credible, and trustworthy. Moreover, silence in the face of incomplete information is a safeguard against fueling unnecessary conflict. Words spoken in haste, without understanding the full implications, can escalate situations, damage reputations, and create long-lasting rifts. Marcus Aurelius would argue that it's far better to be perceived as quiet than to contribute to the chaos with uninformed remarks. Silence becomes a form of protection, not just for yourself, but for those involved in the situation. It shows restraint, respect, and a commitment to truth over impulse. This kind of silence is also a form of respect for the complexity of truth. Life is rarely black and white, and most situations have layers that aren't immediately visible. By staying silent until you have all the facts, you honor the nuance of each moment, acknowledging that what you don't know is just as important as what you do. This humility, recognizing the limits of your knowledge, aligns deeply with Stoic principles. It's a reminder that wisdom isn't about having all the answers, but about knowing when to seek them. Ultimately, being silent when you don't have all the facts is a practice in patience, humility, and wisdom. It's a commitment to integrity, ensuring that when you do speak, your words are grounded in truth and understanding. It's about valuing thoughtful reflection over impulsive reaction, and it's a powerful reminder that sometimes the best contribution you can make is simply to listen and learn. By mastering this kind of silence, you cultivate a reputation for thoughtfulness and integrity, embodying the Stoic ideal of speaking less, but saying more. Be silent when your words could harm more than help. There is a fine line between honesty and harm, and Marcus Aurelius understood that wisdom lies in knowing when words are better left unspoken. In our desire to be honest or to express our opinions, we often overlook the potential impact of our words on others. Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. They can cut deeper than any weapon, leaving scars that linger long after the moment has passed. Being silent when your words could cause more harm than help is not about suppressing truth. It's about exercising the kind of self-control and empathy that define true wisdom. It's about recognizing that sometimes the greatest kindness you can offer is the restraint of silence. Imagine a moment where someone is already burdened, struggling under the weight of their own challenges. In such times, even well-intentioned words can add to their distress. Criticism, unsolicited advice, or even a harsh truth can feel like salt on an open wound. Marcus Aurelius would remind us that our role is not to inflict more pain, but to consider the effect our words will have. Before speaking, it's essential to ask, will my words uplift or diminish? Will they bring clarity or confusion? Sometimes, the best response is not to say anything at all, allowing space for healing rather than adding to the burden. Silence in these moments is not a sign of indifference, it is an act of empathy and respect. It's about understanding that not every truth needs to be spoken aloud, especially when it serves no constructive purpose. There is wisdom in knowing when the truth can wait, when timing is more important than the message itself, and when silence can convey understanding far better than words. This restraint demonstrates a deep respect for the other person's emotional state, and it shows that you value their well-being over the need to voice your own thoughts. This is not about lying or withholding, but about prioritizing the impact over the impulse to speak. Moreover, choosing silence over potentially harmful words protects your own integrity. In moments of anger, frustration, or judgment, it's easy to let words slip that we later regret. Marcus Aurelius believed that mastering our impulses, especially the impulse to speak when emotions are high, is a key element of self-discipline. By staying silent in such moments, you give yourself the opportunity to reflect and respond from a place of calm rather than a place of reactivity. This pause can prevent unnecessary conflict, preserve relationships, and maintain the dignity of both parties involved. Silence in these instances also creates space for others to find their own answers. Sometimes the best support you can offer is simply to listen without the need to fill the silence with advice or critique. This quiet presence shows that you trust their ability to navigate their own challenges and that you respect their journey without imposing your perspective. It's a powerful yet understated form of support that communicates more than words ever could. Ultimately, being silent when your words could cause more harm than help is an act of self-control, empathy, and respect. It's about recognizing the weight of your words and choosing to wield that power responsibly. Silence becomes a tool of wisdom, allowing you to navigate sensitive situations with grace and compassion. By holding back when necessary, you protect the dignity of others, maintain your own integrity, and embody the Stoic principle that sometimes the most impactful words are the ones we choose not to say. 4. Be silent. When listening is more powerful than speaking, in a world where everyone seems eager to speak, few truly listen. Marcus Aurelius, known for his reflective nature and deep introspection, would argue that listening is not just a courtesy, it's a profound act of wisdom and connection. Silence, when used intentionally, creates a space for others to share, reflect, and be understood. It's in these moments of silence that we demonstrate our respect and attentiveness, showing that we value the voices and perspectives of those around us. Being silent when listening is more powerful than speaking is not about diminishing your own voice. It's about elevating the conversation, creating deeper connections, and gaining insights that words alone cannot provide. Imagine a conversation where you feel truly heard, where the other person isn't just waiting for their turn to speak, but is genuinely engaged with your words. This kind of active listening is rare, and it's incredibly valuable. It allows the speaker to feel seen, validated, and respected. Marcus Aurelius knew that the art of listening requires more than just hearing the words. It involves being fully present, putting aside your own judgments, and resisting the urge to interrupt. Silence in these moments is an invitation. It invites others to express themselves openly and fully, without fear of being cut off or dismissed. When we choose to be silent and truly listen, we not only learn more about others, but we also learn more about ourselves. Listening helps us to understand different perspectives, to challenge our own assumptions, and to deepen our empathy. It's through listening that we gain insights that can't be found in our own thoughts alone. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of the importance of seeking understanding, and listening is one of the most powerful ways to achieve this. It allows us to absorb new information, consider new viewpoints, and reflect on our own beliefs. In silence, we create room for growth, both for ourselves and for those we are listening to. Moreover, silence when listening sends a powerful message that the other person's words are worth your full attention. In a world of constant distractions, this kind of focused attention is a rare gift. It shows that you value the person in front of you more than your own need to speak. This silent acknowledgement can strengthen relationships, build trust, and foster a sense of mutual respect. It's a simple yet profound way of connecting with others on a deeper level, one that goes beyond words and reaches the heart of true communication. Choosing silence in conversations also helps you to respond more thoughtfully. When we are quick to speak, we often react rather than respond. But when we take the time to listen, we gather the information needed to form a more considered and impactful response. Marcus Aurelius believed that thoughtful silence often led to wiser words. By allowing yourself the space to fully understand before you speak, you ensure that your contributions are meaningful and relevant, rather than impulsive and superficial. Ultimately, being silent when listening is more powerful than speaking is about embracing the role of the observer. It's about recognizing that sometimes the greatest gift you can offer is your undivided attention. This kind of silence is not passive, it's deeply active, creating a dynamic space for connection, understanding, and growth. By prioritizing listening over speaking, you honor the voices around you and cultivate the Stoic principle of wisdom through quiet reflection. 5. Be silent when it's better to observe than to react. In the fast-paced world we live in, the impulse to react immediately is almost irresistible. We are conditioned to respond quickly, whether it's to defend ourselves, offer our opinion, or correct someone else. However, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, understood the profound wisdom in choosing observation over immediate reaction. Sometimes the best course of action is no action at all. It's taking a step back, remaining silent, and simply observing the situation unfold. This kind of restraint allows us to see things as they truly are, uncolored by the distortions of haste, emotion, or bias. By being silent when it's better to observe than to react, we exercise the Stoic virtue of patience, ensuring that our actions are guided by clarity rather than impulse. Imagine finding yourself in a heated meeting or argument where opinions clash and emotions run high. The instinct to jump in, to assert your perspective, or to correct what you perceive as wrong can be overpowering. But it's precisely in these moments that silence can be your greatest ally. Instead of reacting, choosing to observe allows you to gather all the facts, understand the dynamics at play, and assess the motivations of others. This silent observation provides you with a clearer picture, free from the cloud of immediate emotional response. Marcus Aurelius believed that wisdom begins with perception, the ability to see without the filters of ego or anger. By observing first, you ensure that when you do choose to speak or act, your response is measured, informed, and effective. Silence also grants you the power to control the narrative. When everyone else is reacting, your silence sets you apart. It gives you the opportunity to notice the subtleties that others miss, the tone of voice, the body language, the underlying tensions. These observations can be incredibly valuable, providing insights that inform not only your understanding of the current situation, but also your strategy moving forward. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of mastering one's perceptions, and silence is a key tool in that mastery. By choosing not to react immediately, you create the space needed to process information fully, allowing you to respond with wisdom rather than reflex. Furthermore, silence in observation teaches you the art of self-restraint. The ability to pause and reflect rather than react is a hallmark of Stoic discipline. It shows that you are in control of your emotions and that you prioritize thoughtful action over mindless reaction. This kind of silence is a silent strength. It demonstrates confidence, composure, and a deep understanding of the power of timing. You become the calm in the storm, the steady presence in a sea of chaos, and that presence speaks volumes more than any hurried words ever could. Lastly, observing rather than reacting helps protect your energy and focus. Not every situation requires your input, and not every conflict needs your engagement. By being selective about when and how you respond, you conserve your mental and emotional resources for the moments that truly matter. This discerning silence allows you to remain centered, unshaken by the noise around you, and in control of your own narrative. Marcus Aurelius knew that silence was not a sign of passivity, but of strategic wisdom. By choosing to observe before reacting, you align yourself with the Stoic path of thoughtful, purposeful action, ensuring that when you do speak, your words carry the weight of true understanding. Be silent. When others speak out of emotion, not reason. There are moments when the air is thick with emotion, anger, frustration, fear, or excitement, and words fly unchecked. In these times, conversations often lose their grounding in reason and spiral into conflicts, misunderstandings, or impulsive decisions. Marcus Aurelius, a master of self-discipline and calm reflection, understood the futility of engaging when emotions, not reason, drive the dialogue. He believed that wisdom lies not in matching another's emotional outburst, but in the strength to remain silent, composed, and observant. Being silent when others speak out of emotion is not an act of withdrawal or indifference. It is a deliberate choice to protect your peace, preserve the clarity of the moment, and uphold the Stoic ideal of reason over impulse. Imagine a situation where someone is venting their frustrations or expressing heated emotions. The natural response might be to defend yourself, counter their points, or offer your perspective. But engaging in that moment often does little to resolve the underlying issues and can instead escalate tensions. Marcus Aurelius would remind us that when others are lost in the heat of their emotions, they are not truly open to listening or understanding. They are caught in their own storm, and anything you say might only fuel the fire. Silence in these moments becomes a form of respect, not just for them, but for yourself. It allows you to avoid getting entangled in a cycle of reactive communication and gives you the space to respond thoughtfully when the emotional storm has passed. Remaining silent when emotions are running high serves another crucial purpose. It protects the integrity of your words. Speaking out of turn, especially in a charged environment, can lead to saying things you don't mean or making statements you'll later regret. Silence offers a protective pause, a moment to assess whether what you want to say is truly constructive or simply a knee-jerk reaction to the emotional energy around you. Marcus Aurelius taught that true mastery of the self involves not only knowing what to say, but knowing when not to say anything at all. By holding back, you preserve your dignity, and your words retain their weight and value, spoken only when they can contribute meaningfully. Moreover, silence in the face of emotional outbursts sets a powerful example. It demonstrates self-control and poise, showing others that it is possible to maintain composure even in difficult situations. This calm presence can have a grounding effect on those around you, subtly encouraging a shift from emotion-driven discourse to more reasoned, thoughtful communication. It's a silent invitation for others to reflect, to pause, and to reconsider the way they are expressing themselves. Marcus Aurelius knew that leadership often comes not from speaking the loudest, but from modeling the behavior that others can aspire to. Ultimately, being silent when others speak out of emotion is about prioritizing reason over reaction. It's about recognizing that not every conversation needs your immediate input, and that sometimes the best response is no response at all. This disciplined silence allows you to stay anchored in your values, unshaken by the emotional tides of others. It upholds the Stoic principle that wisdom and reason should guide our words, and that true strength is found not in reacting to every emotional wave, but in calmly observing, understanding, and waiting for the right moment to speak. Be silent when your opinion doesn't add value. We live in an era where everyone feels compelled to share their opinions on every subject, often without considering whether their input truly adds value. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor renowned for his reflective wisdom, believed that silence was a mark of self-discipline, especially when your opinion is neither needed nor helpful. He understood that not every conversation requires our participation, and that sometimes the greatest wisdom lies in knowing when to keep our thoughts to ourselves. By being silent when your opinion doesn't add value, you not only demonstrate restraint, but also preserve the integrity of your words, speaking only when you can contribute meaningfully. Imagine a group discussion where ideas are flowing freely, perhaps in a meeting, a debate, or a casual conversation among friends. The urge to weigh in, to make your voice heard, can be strong, especially when the topic is one you care about. However, not every opinion moves the discussion forward. Some simply reiterate what's already been said, while others may derail the conversation entirely. Marcus Aurelius would argue that before speaking, it's crucial to ask yourself, does my opinion bring something new or necessary to this dialogue? If the answer is no, then silence becomes a powerful choice, a sign of respect for the conversation's flow and for those who are already contributing thoughtfully. Remaining silent when your opinion doesn't add value also reflects a deep understanding of the power of words. In Stoicism, words are not just sounds. They are tools that can build or break, clarify or confuse. By speaking only when you have something valuable to add, you ensure that your words carry weight and significance. This restraint doesn't mean your opinions are unimportant. It simply means you are discerning about when and where to share them. Marcus Aurelius knew that true wisdom often lies in listening more than speaking, observing more than asserting. It's about valuing the conversation enough to contribute only when you can elevate it. Furthermore, choosing silence in these moments preserves your credibility. Constantly offering opinions, especially when they are redundant or off-topic, can dilute the impact of your voice. But when you speak selectively, only when you have a perspective that truly adds depth or insight, people are more likely to listen and respect what you say. This approach aligns with the Stoic ideal of speaking less, but saying more. Your words become a rare commodity, valued not for their quantity, but for their quality. Silence, in this context, becomes an active choice, a deliberate act that amplifies the power of your voice when you do decide to use it. Moreover, silence when your opinion doesn't add value fosters a culture of respect and collaboration. It shows that you are not driven by ego or the need to be heard at all costs, but by a genuine interest in the collective pursuit of truth or progress. This humility, this willingness to step back, creates space for others to contribute, particularly those whose voices are often overshadowed. It allows the conversation to breathe and evolve naturally, guided by contributions that enhance rather than clutter the dialogue. Ultimately, being silent when your opinion doesn't add value is a practice in humility, discipline, and respect. It's about recognizing that wisdom is not always about having something to say, but knowing when to remain quiet. In doing so, you honor the conversation, preserve the impact of your words, and embody the Stoic principle that true mastery lies not in speaking frequently, but in speaking well. Be silent when emotions are high and reason is low. Emotions are powerful forces that can cloud judgment, distort reality, and lead us to act in ways that we later regret. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, understood that during moments of high emotion, whether it's anger, fear, sadness, or even extreme excitement, reason often takes a back seat. In these times, the most rational and wise course of action is to remain silent. Being silent when emotions are high and reason is low is not about suppressing how you feel, but about protecting your integrity, relationships, and mental peace by choosing to pause rather than react. It's a deliberate act of self-control that honors the Stoic principle of temperance, guiding us toward thoughtful action rather than emotional reactivity. Consider a heated argument with a loved one or a tense moment at work when emotions are flaring. The impulse to speak out, defend yourself, or assert your point of view can be overwhelming. Yet, this is precisely when words are most likely to cause harm. Marcus Aurelius would remind us that when emotions run high, our words are often driven by the heat of the moment rather than thoughtful reflection. Speaking impulsively can escalate conflict, create misunderstandings, and leave scars that are difficult to heal. In these instances, silence is not avoidance. It's a protective barrier that allows you to maintain control over your response and prevents you from saying something that you might later regret. Silence during emotional highs also provides you with a crucial pause, a moment to reflect, breathe, and regain your composure. It's in this silence that you can evaluate your feelings and the situation more objectively. Instead of reacting immediately, you give yourself the space to ask, what am I really feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Will my words help resolve the situation, or will they fuel the fire? This kind of introspection is at the heart of Stoic practice. It's about mastering your inner world before engaging with the external one. By choosing silence, you allow the initial surge of emotion to pass, giving reason the time to catch up and guide your next steps. Furthermore, silence in emotional moments sets a powerful example for others. When you remain calm and composed, even in the face of provocation or intense emotion, you create a stabilizing presence. This calm can influence those around you, diffusing tension and encouraging a more reasoned dialogue. It shows that you are not a slave to your emotions, but a master of them. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of the importance of maintaining tranquility amidst chaos, and silence is a direct embodiment of this principle. It's a quiet yet profound way of asserting that you are in control, unshaken by the storm of emotions swirling around you. Lastly, being silent when emotions are high and reason is low preserves the sanctity of your relationships. It's an act of respect for yourself and for others. It acknowledges that sometimes the best way to honor your emotions is to give them time to settle before you speak. This thoughtful approach prevents unnecessary conflict, fosters understanding, and maintains the integrity of your connections. Marcus Aurelius knew that the true test of character is not in how we react when it's easy, but in how we conduct ourselves when it's most challenging. By embracing silence in these moments, you uphold the Stoic commitment to wisdom, self-control, and thoughtful action, ensuring that when you do speak, your words reflect your highest self, not your lowest impulses. 9. Be silent. When you haven't fully considered the consequences. Every word we speak carries weight, and the impact of those words can ripple far beyond the moment. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, understood that true wisdom often lies not in what we say, but in what we choose not to say. Before uttering a word, especially in critical or sensitive situations, it is essential to consider the potential consequences. By being silent when you haven't fully considered the impact of your words, you exercise self-restraint, thoughtfulness, and a deep respect for the power of speech. This silence is not a sign of hesitation or indecision. It is a deliberate pause that allows you to align your words with your intentions and values, ensuring that your speech contributes to, rather than detracts from, the greater good. Imagine a scenario where you are faced with a difficult decision and you are tempted to offer your opinion or advice. Perhaps a friend is confiding in you about a personal issue, or a colleague is seeking your input on a challenging project. The urge to speak up, to be helpful, or to assert your perspective can be strong. However, Marcus Aurelius would remind us that before speaking, it's crucial to pause and consider the full scope of your words. Will what you say provide clarity, or will it add confusion? Will it build up, or will it tear down? The Stoic approach teaches us that silence is often the best response when the consequences of our words are unclear, or when we haven't yet fully thought through the impact they might have. Silence in these moments serves as a safeguard against impulsive speech that could lead to unintended harm. Words spoken without foresight can damage relationships, undermine trust, or escalate conflicts. In personal interactions, a careless comment can wound deeply, even if that was never your intention. In professional settings, an ill-considered remark can undermine teamwork or set back progress on a project. Marcus Aurelius believed that wisdom includes not just the knowledge of what to say, but also the discipline to remain silent when we are uncertain. This mindful restraint is an act of respect for the complexity of human interactions and the potential fallout of poorly chosen words. Moreover, choosing silence allows you to gather more information and reflect on the situation from multiple angles. It provides the time needed to understand not just your own perspective, but also the needs, feelings, and circumstances of others involved. This thoughtful pause often leads to more measured, insightful contributions when you do eventually speak. Marcus Aurelius would advocate for this kind of deliberation as a means of ensuring that your words are aligned with your principles and the outcomes you wish to achieve. It's about making sure that when you do choose to break the silence, your speech is purposeful, compassionate, and constructive. Silence also signals humility, an acknowledgement that you don't have all the answers and that sometimes it's better to listen, observe, and think before engaging. This humility opens the door to learning, as it allows space for others to speak, share, and contribute their insights. By being silent until you've fully considered the consequences, you not only protect your own integrity, but also foster an environment where dialogue is thoughtful, respectful, and meaningful. Ultimately, being silent when you haven't fully considered the consequences of your words is about prioritizing the impact over the impulse. It's about recognizing that the right words, spoken at the right time, can be powerful tools for connection, healing, and progress. Conversely, words spoken without foresight can cause harm that cannot be undone. By exercising the Stoic discipline of thoughtful silence, you ensure that your voice is a force for good, contributing to the world in ways that are wise, intentional, and aligned with your highest values. 10. Be silent when the truth is better revealed. Through actions, words can be powerful, but actions speak volumes. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, understood that in many situations, the truth is best demonstrated, not declared. In a world where talk is often cheap, it's your actions that reveal your true character, intentions, and values. Silence, when paired with purposeful action, can be a profound statement that words alone could never convey. Being silent when the truth is better revealed through actions is not about withholding your voice. It's about choosing a more impactful way to communicate what matters most. It's about letting your deeds stand as a testament to your principles, integrity, and commitment, demonstrating who you are through what you do rather than what you say. Consider moments of conflict, where promises are made but seldom kept, or where apologies are spoken yet feel hollow. In such situations, it's easy to rely on words to patch things up or to assert your intentions, but Marcus Aurelius would remind us that actions are the real proof of our convictions. A promise means little without the follow-through, and words of regret are empty without a change in behavior. By choosing silence and letting your actions lead, you demonstrate accountability, sincerity, and the strength to back up your words. This silent resolve speaks louder than any declaration. It shows that you are not just talking about change, you are embodying it. Silence in these contexts also protects your integrity. When you commit to action rather than empty rhetoric, you build trust and credibility with those around you. People learn that you are someone who doesn't just speak, you act, and your actions are consistent with your words. This alignment between what you say and what you do is a hallmark of Stoic virtue. Marcus Aurelius believed that true leadership and influence come from embodying the values you espouse. Silence, when paired with deliberate action, becomes a powerful tool that not only communicates your intentions, but also reinforces your character. Furthermore, letting actions reveal the truth encourages personal growth and accountability. When you focus less on verbal explanations and more on doing, you are constantly pushed to align your behavior with your values. It's a daily practice of walking the talk, and this practice strengthens your discipline and commitment to self-improvement. Actions are tangible, undeniable proof of your efforts and your evolution. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reflected on the importance of living according to one's principles, and actions were the ultimate measure of this alignment. By choosing to act rather than just speak, you hold yourself to a higher standard, pushing yourself to become the person you aspire to be. Moreover, actions have a profound impact on those around you. They inspire, influence, and motivate others in ways that words cannot. When you quietly demonstrate patience, courage, kindness, or resilience, you set a powerful example that others can see and learn from. This kind of leadership by example is far more persuasive than any lecture or speech. Marcus Aurelius lived by this principle, leading by his actions rather than mere commands, and it's a legacy that endures far beyond his words. Ultimately, being silent when the truth is better revealed through actions is a commitment to authenticity. It's about understanding that true influence doesn't come from what you say, but from how you live. Your actions are your legacy, and they speak on your behalf long after your words have faded. By embracing this Stoic lesson, you choose to let your life be the message, showing the world who you are through the quiet, powerful language of action. We began by questioning the power of silence. What if the most profound strength lies not in speaking, but in knowing when to remain quiet? Now, as you've journeyed through the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, you've seen that silence is not emptiness but a deliberate, powerful choice. Each moment of restraint, each pause, and each quiet observation is a testament to your mastery over yourself. The greatest battle, after all, is not in the noise of the world, but in how we choose to respond to it. The power to change is now in your hands. Will you choose to speak, or will you find strength in silence? This is not just about holding your tongue. It's about reclaiming your power, controlling your narrative, and honoring the wisdom that comes from within. Don't just close this page and forget what you've learned. Take these lessons into your daily life. Use silence as a tool for reflection, a shield against impulsiveness, and a platform for action. As you move forward, ask yourself, in which moments will your silence be your most powerful statement? The real journey starts now, and it's one of continued growth, observation, and self-mastery. You've seen the path. Now it's up to you to walk it. This book may end, but the wisdom of silence is an ongoing practice. Embrace it, apply it, and let your quiet resolve be the loudest testament to your strength.